Good day and welcome back to my channel. This is build update number 2 on the STZ-5 Soviet artillery tractor. I've gotten a little bit further in and I found a couple of, I don't want to say gotchas, but things I would recommend, at least when it comes to building this one. So let's go ahead and let's start and see what's obvious here. So as you can see, I've taken the undercarriage and I've given it a rust colored quick spray, and as I'm looking here, this was last night, so I let it cure overnight. I'm going to give it a second run through, and then we're going to basically give the whole thing a very rusted look, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the salt method. It's been a while since I've done the chipping method using salt and so forth, so I want to try this on this one with some of the complicated stuff that's underneath. But dirtying all this up now, I mean, yes, you can see there are some ejector pins up in there. I am going to have this on a display, so I don't expect any of that to be seen. But this is me practicing some techniques and stuff. So that's what's happened here. So we have a nice bright orange, and I'll be going through and dirtying it all up, and the next video I get to that piece anyway. I'll show you what it looks like before I put the base coat on. Now, I then got to looking at the cab, and this is the one I want to call out. If you look at the instructions, they have you build the floor of the cab and put all the pieces on. I recommend that, yes. Then they then have you put the front and the back together. But then they have you put the top on the front and back, put all the doors together, and then drop it in. And this is where I diverged from the plan. So, and this is just dry fit, so I'm going to pop this open. And we will talk a little bit about this. So this is the cab, and this is the floor piece, which you see here. Now, it comes with covers, right? So the covers come, and what I did is I intentionally left one of them open so I could look in at the engine. Now, the engine is very simple, and I added some extra detail just to add interest and make it look a little more engine-like, sort of give it a better look. My feel for it here is I know that when I put this together, the door for the driver's side is going to be off. I'm actually going to take the door off, either have it fallen off or falling off. Also, the instructions have the tillers together. Again, for interest, I went ahead and put them together, or put them separate. I've gone through, done chipping, and I'm working on leather seat wear. I'm not happy with where it is now. It's again doing layers of browns and tans, and if I could get this to stay focused, doing layers of browns and tans. And I'm using some reference photos of other model kits that have done similar. I think I need to soften up these edges and so forth to make them look a little bit better. But that's me playing around with the paint scheme on there. And then I've gone through on this side and again done chipping around the surface of the lid and then dirtied up the floor. Same thing with the back, is I'm doing the same wear on the leather, and I'm liking the way the one for the driver is coming out a little bit better. I did end up painting the line here so I could see where I need to wear it and not where I need to not wear it. The windows, one of these windows is going to be broken. I'm going to intentionally leave it broken. So I want to have weather coming in from the side there so that it looks that way and it looks appropriate. And it's easier to do this, and this is what I found with these, is even though the instructions tell you here, on focus, will you? Even though the instructions tell you to put the top on this and then put it together, I'm finding it preferable to do it the other way around, to actually go ahead and put this together from the bottom up and then drop this thing in as a unit. So that's where I'm going to go, and that's the direction I'm going with this one. And again, similar to the inside here, I went ahead and got the transfers out so that I did that, weathered up the inside so that again, when these are there and the door is open or missing, or however I do end up doing this, you know, the view, let me get some light over this, shed some more light on this. There. So when the door is open, the view looks a little more appropriate. Now, the other thing here that's interesting is the front windows can flip up. So I will do that. I will actually have the windows flipped up. I'm contemplating having one of them broken. They all will be heavily dusted. I'm missing the PE parts that go here so far, and the headlights, of course. So we're working our way up, and this is where we are on this piece so far. From a, you know, I also have not done the underside yet, so that's gonna get it. And again, not bothering to fill the ejector pins because that's gonna get covered up anyway. So again, this is just playing around with a little rust technique and oil stain techniques, and for the most part, like I said, the detail itself is going to be hidden or harder to see because you're looking through the missing door, and that's going to be it. But the cool thing is it allows for some fun, and that's really what I'm doing here. I really didn't do much other than add some wiring and a couple of pipes up there just to give it some look. I made sure it's painted, and when I looked at, and yes, I know that there's an ejector pin there. When I look in, it's not going to be seen, and I'm going to dirty that up anyway and actually make it look like it belongs, because I noticed it late in my process, so I'm kind of running with it. Like I said, I did actually, and this is the first time I've used this stuff. I've never used Tamiya accent color. I've always just used oil paint. I wanted to try this out and see how it worked, and I kind of like the way it works. So it shows a little more there, and if we can, there we go. It shows a little more there on these pieces here, like the vents, and a little bit more on the bottom. So, okay. You know, I think that bottle's going to last me quite a while. So anyway, at this point, this is where we are now. My next, the next piece I have to do then is to finish the doors. The doors, like I said, one door is going to be, and the doors are still here. Doors are done in two pieces, so you can actually put the glass pieces in. One door is going to be falling off with a broken window. The other one, I think I'm going to have the window rolled down. And the neat thing is it does have, that actually have the window crank, so that'll be kind of neat. So we'll have the window rolled down on the passenger side, and on the driver's side, we'll just have the door falling off. But again, I just wanted to point those out. You can play with this, right? So depending on how you want to do it, if you really want to get in and play around with the engine, you know, I decided that it would be better to look in through where all these controls are, so I could have that visibility. Having the get that out because that mucks with our white balance. So having the piece that's open be the one that has the controls on it, I found would be more interesting. The windows themselves are going to block a lot of view. There's not going to be a lot of light in there. So if you do this with the doors closed and the windows up, you're not going to see much of this at all. But for what I'm looking to do, let me just slide in here a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. But for what I'm looking to do, with a door off, I think that adds. So if you want to play around, you've got a lot to play with here. You've also got a lot to play with here for the undercarriage. And with where I'm going with that, I think I'm going to have some fun options there as well. So that's it for now. I will be back with our third update eventually. This one's kind of fun. It's been just sort of play around piecemeal stuff, but yeah, the real thing I wanted to call out was what the instructions were asking for. You really do need to paint the interior before you put it together, and then I really don't like the put the top of the cab on, then drop it all onto this. I think I'm finding that it will align better where they kind of all go together, rather than trying to put the cab on, or the top on first. I think it works better bottom up. At least that's what I'm finding so far. With that said, I will let you go for now, and until next time, happy modeling.